I would like her to be kind of good and friendly spider, but we shall see. I heard they're crazy. Hey, what's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Miro and today we're gonna be talking about one of the most exciting spiders and certainly the biggest one, Theraphosa stirmi. I keep Theraphosa stirmi and I keep Theraphosa apophysis, so I'll be basically covering up both of these, and I believe the care for Theraphosa blondie is gonna be same as these. Before we get into it, let me give you just one quick update today. I finally was able to pair up my Apophysis moderatum. Some of you may remember I tried twice already. I was doing updates in the video, so it finally happened. So they paired up. They're probably the most beautiful native tarantulas in the United States. You can find them on the US and Mexican border in Texas, and I was actually even hoping that I'm gonna take and release some of them there, but I didn't realize how far it is. It's like 20 hours drive, but I'm still really happy because a lot of these spiders are getting in a hobby wild caught, so it's really nice to have actually captive bred slings. Alright, so let's get into Theraphosa stirmi. They already sound intense, right? Stirmi. It's not like brachypelma or it's not like a hamori, it's stirmi. So let's talk about their availability and who should get these spiders. If you like giant spiders, because this tiny Theraphosa apophysis is gonna grow into 11 inches. That is a pretty big spider. That's actually, as a matter of fact, they are the biggest spiders on the planet. I know that some Heteropoda maxima have longer leg span, but this is the most giant spiders. If you have experience with Pamphobidius or Xenestis or any of the larger species that are very food oriented, I would highly recommend Theraphosa species because they are really awesome spiders and they are very exciting. When I was doing my research on these spiders, I learned that actually apophysis was kind of hard to find. Like in 2014 I think was the post from an Arachnoboards, but I feel like they are a little bit more available right now. And the stirmi, you can find them fairly easily. I bet most of the larger shops like Spider Shop or Firna Tarantula, or maybe even some smaller ones like Swift Inverts, they'll have Theraphosas. They grow giant, but basically they are no different than any other spider. Well, their size is bigger, so instead of catch cup you're gonna need a catch ball, and instead of brush you're just gonna need a broom. But that's about it, otherwise the care is the same. And we call our Theraphosa stirmi Ronda. When I'm getting a new spider, I like to do my research, and I don't just follow care sheets. I also go on iNaturalist and I look up the spider's location and I look up the weather, which is what you guys watching right here. And that is because there is a lot of misleading information and there are different localities of the spiders as well. And like, I remember when I was getting Theraphosas, somebody was telling me, oh, you know what, it's too hot in LA, they're not gonna make it. And they're doing just fine, guys. You know, we had the longest heat wave that I've ever experienced in Los Angeles. It happened this summer. I've been here for 25 years almost, and she made it. She's just fine. So this is my Theraphosa apophysis. She's in something like, I believe it's a 5x5x5 cube that I just drill some holes, some ventilation holes, cross ventilation in, which is always very important. She has about 3 inches of damp substrate that I keep damp all the time, and moss, water dish, and a hideout. And there is like a little hollow cork bark, but I don't push the cork bark completely against the glass or against the plexiglass. I give a little bit space in the substrate so they can actually dig in the substrate. So basically the hollow cork bark is just an entrance for them. And the same setup is for the larger one, which you guys gonna see. I also keep some springtails and dwarf isopods in their enclosure, and those are serving as a cleaning crew. I got my Theraphosa stirmi roughly 2 years ago, I want to say a little less than 2 years ago, and she was already pretty big sling, but like I said, they grow fast, so this is maybe like 2 or 3 molts, and they just get this massive. And I got her at a local pet store, so I didn't have to pay shipping. And as you guys can see, they have a pink toes, just like the apophysis. They just don't last as long, so they both have pink toes, apophysis and stirmis, but stirmis lose the pink toes a little bit sooner than apophysis. This is her basically first enclosure, and I immediately put her in something that I have most of my brachypelmas females, they are in it already as adults. Fresh moss, some sphagnum moss mixed with really damp substrate. I keep it damp all the time. I have a drainage there, basically just clay balls, and those serve as a drainage layer. And again, hollow cork bark, that is basically just the entrance to her burrow, and she can dig into her substrate as well. But at this size right now, where I have her, she's basically like 6-7 inches. She doesn't dig anymore, she's out all the time. Let's talk a little bit about feeding. Here you guys can see I'm dropping in 3 dubia roaches, 3 male dubia roaches, and this is basically what I feed her like once a week, I wanna say. If her abdomen would get a little bigger, I would give her a week break, but that doesn't really happen very often. She's a very happy spider when she eats, and she will give you a happy dance. She used to be a lot more shy when she was smaller, but now as a bigger spider, she's always out. I can take out her enclosure, I can open it, and she's not gonna hide, she's not kicking her or anything. So she's a, you know, she's an ideal spider. And if you guys are into like these giant prehistoric looking tarantulas, I think you should definitely get one of these. The last dubia is going, and she's already doing her little happy dance. She was happy with two, and here she grabs another one. She's a little greedy girl. Usually I don't feed anything that's bigger than the spider's abdomen, so same goes for slings. And that especially applies to crickets, because crickets can hurt your spider back, they can bite back. So it's not as crucial with something like roach or flies, but with crickets it's definitely important. When it comes to humidity, so she has a pretty decent sized water dish in her enclosure, and I always keep it damp. Their substrate never actually runs out. It's never like, it's always dark brown, it's always damp. And that's what I've been doing, that's been working for me. But like I said, there is a drainage layer, and here you can see her a little smaller. She's grabbing a grasshopper, but as I said, she was a little bit more shy when she was smaller, so I would always tickle her out and see if she's hungry, because at the time I didn't know how much she's gonna eat. And I wanna say she ate a little bit less when she was a sling. Right now she's ready all the time. And here is a little feeding with a hornworm caterpillar, which I don't give my spiders very often, but sometimes I do it mainly for the pictures. It's just too fattening for the spiders, and I also don't like the chemicals that they use. I don't know what they actually use for caterpillars, and you know, since I don't know, I don't really like feeding it to them. Let's talk about display and appeal. And I already said that when she was smaller, she was hiding a lot, and right now she's always out. Actually, let me show you guys. I'm gonna pick her up, I'm gonna open it up, and you guys will see she's not gonna run. So here she is, she's not hiding. Let's open it up. Let's open it up, and this enclosure is kind of hard to open and is heavy. So cool. I really enjoy this species. But yeah, let's get back to the video. So she spends all of her day out as well as nights, and during the day she likes to climb on my plants and basically destroy them. And look at those fangs, and those giant, they're bigger than some of the venomous snakes. And I'll be talking a little bit about Theraphosa stirmi defense in a little bit. They say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and to me she is beautiful. She really reminds me of like those drawings of these like prehistoric giant tarantulas. She really feels that way. So, you know, for me this is a very beautiful spider. But with that being said, remember guys, when they're a little bit more shy, and you won't see them very often. This is basically how they are. Now let's talk venom and urticating hair, and you guys probably already know New World tarantulas, their venom is not as bad as Old World tarantulas, meaning tarantulas from Americas are not as venomous as tarantulas from Africa or Asia, but they have urticating hair, and they can use the urticating hair as passive or defensive mechanism. Passive meaning they will spread them around, especially before they molt. They'll kick hair around their burrow just to deter predators from even approaching, and defensive is when they kick the hair. And Theraphosa stirmi have some of the worst urticating hair. They can cause some real problems. If they get in your throat or in your eyes, they can make you really sick. So definitely something not to underestimate. If you want to get a spider with really bad urticating hair, don't feel bad about using gloves when you're cleaning their enclosures or anything, you know, basically anytime you need to deal with them, because you prevent yourself from really having some nasty rashes. As far as venom goes, it's not as bad as some of the Old World tarantulas like baboons or Poecilotherias, but you don't want to get bitten by a spider of this size. Just those fangs, I mean, they are giant. It's like getting two big nails stuck in your fingers, so I don't think it's a pleasant experience. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video on Theraphosa stirmi. Ronda is definitely gonna be a superstar of all the top takedowns, which is gonna be next week. I'm gonna be making top takedowns. I may probably not have many clips of her in it, but there's gonna be a lot of really cool spider feedings. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, or if you got some cool information, or just like some of the shots. If you like my head, check us out at Spider Cafe at the shop, and I will see you in a week. Alright, ciao!